Hello and welcome back to this week's meditation here on Saturday morning. Most of us would probably be watching this post-production, so I want to make sure that everybody's I'm getting these out to everybody. So if you don't see them in your email, let me know and I will make sure to send it your way personally. That way you're able to view these post-production. This is Coach Zach Beanie, and hopefully you're also on the lookout for videos from Coach Landy, Coach Winning, Coach K, Coach Ray, Rara, and Coach D. Um, so without further ado, we're going to first talk about the topic of overcoming obstacles to meditation or mindfulness. And one is laziness and distraction. A form of laziness is not having the determination to do immediately what you know to be the most important thing and wasting your time instead on minor activities. To remedy this, establish priorities among your projects and remember that while your days are numbered, ordinary activities are like waves on the ocean. There is no end to them. The goal of meditation is precisely to make your mind smooth and manageable so that it can be concentrated or relaxed at will, and especially to free it from the tyranny of mental afflictions and confusion. The antidote to distraction is cultivating vigilance. Whenever you notice that your mind has wandered off, bring it back to the object of meditation. If you suddenly realize you have been distracted, it shows you have recovered your mindfulness. So you should be happy about this instead of being discouraged and regretful. The more often you notice that you have been distracted, the more your mindfulness is progressing. Remember also why you are meditating. Your goal is not to waste time giving free rein to your thoughts, but to use your meditation time to gain freedom from suffering. Next is lack of perseverance and excessive effort. More specifically, excessive effort. A big occasional effort does not have the same beneficial effect as a spectacular effort that is more constant. Excessive effort can result from impatience or exhaustion, two states that lead nowhere. If you begin climbing a high mountain at a run, your lungs will soon force you to stop. In the same way, if you drive too far, you'll break. Or if you try to stick on too high a flame, you will end up burning your food. Demanding immediate results is an aspect of unsteadiness of mind or laziness. His Holiness the Dalai Lama joked, in the West, people would like enlightenment to be fast, easy, and if possible, cheap. In the same way that it takes patience to grow a crop, steadiness is indispensable for the practice of meditation. It is no good to pull your plants to make them grow faster. And hence, developing inner calm. Everyone knows that it takes time and perseverance to master an art, a sport, a language, or any other discipline. Why should it not be the same with training the mind? It is a worthwhile adventure. We are not talking about acquiring some ordinary ability, but rather about a new way of being that will determine the quality of our entire life. So first, now we'll go into some deeper insight, specifically with mindfulness and awareness and with dealing with some difficult thoughts and emotions, identification with those emotions, and how to cease doing so. So we begin by making sure that you find yourself in a dignified, upright posture that's neither too relaxed and slouched or too tense erect. That doesn't have to. Usually, I say sitting after that. Most people understand that, and they're able to get the posture right on the money, not too stiff, not too slouched, but nice and upright, but nice and relaxed. You can close your eyes now. Begin by taking 3 deep breaths through your nose. Relax your body with every exhale. Bring your attention to your breathing and gently rest it there. Even when noticing other things, such as the sounds, your environment, sensation in your body, any thoughts that arise, always keep part your attention to the breath. You can observe the sensations of the air coming in and out of your nose, or breathing into your chest or belly, or even count your breaths with exhalation from 10 to 1 to help you stay present. You can stay with the breath or choose to take it further. To do this, you'll open your awareness up to your environment, body, and mind, always keeping the breath as an anchor. Whatever arises is seen with non-judgmental awareness. First, notice your environment. When sounds come through your ears, you notice them as they are. You also notice if they create any reactions in you, and you accept those as well. Then notice any sensations in your body. For example, pain and pleasure, heat and coolness, or tension and relaxation. Then notice your mind. Your mind will keep producing thoughts. Be aware of the thoughts coming and going, but don't latch onto any of them. Continue noticing everything without holding onto anything. Keep your breathing as the anchor throughout this practice. Whenever you realize that your mind has wandered, simply notice that and gently bring the awareness back to the breath. We should understand that it is the accumulation, interlocking of fleeting emotions and thoughts that create our moods. These moods can last for a few hours or a few days, and over the long term, form our character traits and tendencies. That is why, if we learn to deal with our thoughts and emotions in a good way, little by little, thought after thought, emotion by emotion, day after day, in the end, we will be able to transform our way of being. This is the essence of mind training and meditation as they affect the emotions. If you ever notice that you have become anxious, when you're about to miss a plane, for instance, or miss any time frame, or if you're late for something, try to simply be fully aware of your anxiety. And as you continue to do this, you will soon notice that your anxiety begins to be less oppressive and then gradually fades away. Now, why is that? Before you apply mindfulness, anxiety is the main component of your mind, filling its entire landscape. As you become aware of it, you experience both anxiety and the awareness of it. The part of your mind that is aware of anxiety is not anxious, it is just aware. Anxiety is now just one aspect of your mental landscape. And as your awareness becomes more and more pervasive, anxiety loses its intensity and its grip on your mind. Eventually, it vanishes. And if every time a powerful emotion arises, you learn to deal with it intelligently, not only will you master the art of liberating emotions at the moment they appear, but you will also erode the very tendencies that cause the emotions to arise. In this way, your character traits and your way of being will gradually be transformed. This method might seem difficult at the beginning, especially in the heat of the moment, but with practice, you will gradually get used to it. When anger or any other afflictive emotion begins to hatch in your mind, you will be able to identify it on the spot and be able to deal with it before it gets out of hand. It's a little like knowing the identity of a pickpocket. Even if he mingles with the crowd, you can spot him immediately and keep your eye on him so that he won't be able to steal your wallet. And so by becoming more and more familiar with the mechanisms of the mind and by cultivating mindfulness, you will reach the point where you no longer let sparks of nascent emotions turn into forest fires that can destroy your own happiness and that of others. And so this method can be used with all the afflictive emotions. It enables you to make a connection between the practice of meditation and the concerns of everyday life. If you get into the habit of looking at thoughts the moment they arise and letting them dissipate before they take hold of you, it will be much easier to retain mastery of your mind and to deal with the conflicting emotions in the thick of everyday activities. And we can practice this right now. Bring to attention something recently or something that comes immediately to mind, a situation where a negative afflictive emotion fills your entire landscape in your mind. And such emotions such as anxiety, anger, restlessness, sadness, grief. And once you have this experience of this situation in mind, See if you can identify the emotion that is attached to it, the emotion that you felt at that moment. And then as vividly as possible, try to recreate that feeling once again, as vividly and as best as you can. Now simply be fully aware of that emotion. And as I said earlier, as you continue to do this, you will soon notice that that emotion begins to be less oppressive. And it should, over time, start to gradually fade away. And as I also said earlier, this can be a difficult practice at first. And as your awareness starts to take up more of your mental landscape and overcomes the negative emotion, see if you can bring your attention back to the anchor point, the breath. And specifically now bring your attention to the sensations of breathing, and specifically the rise and fall of your abdomen and chest. And witness every movement of breath with full attention. After some time, move your attention to the sensations of the breath moving through your nose. And again, if you realize that you have lost awareness of the breath, notice that fact and gently bring your attention back to your breath. Now let's scan your body for sensations such as heat or cold, tension or relaxation, lightness or heaviness. And let your attention rest on each area of your body for some time. And observe how it is impermanent and see how it's constantly in flux. See if it is perceived as pleasant or unpleasant or neutral. Don't react to it. Simply observe it as it is. Go deep inside each sensation and try to find its essence. Move your attention to the world of the mind. Observe mental phenomena that arise, such as thoughts, feelings, memories, desires, and states of mind, and watch them arise and pass away. Refrain from engaging with them or rejecting them. And again, notice how the thoughts are impermanent, fleeting, and in constant flux. The moment you try to grab a hold of them, they're gone. Zoom into the thoughts and try to find their essence. In the same way, observe and investigate the general states of your mind, active or lethargic, distracted or composed, bright or dull. When you are ready, slowly start moving your fingers, open your eyes, and we will conclude the practice. So thank you again for joining me for another week of this. We'll do it again next week at noontime, and be sure to stay tuned for the rest of the coaches, we're all doing our own thing here. I'm in charge of the meditation stuff. Corey's doing some movement and mobility stuff. Catherine's doing her flow. And Corey, Rachel, and Dean are taking care of our programming in terms of live streaming each of those 3 sessions that we have in each week of our monthly program. So stay tuned for all that. I'll see you guys next week.